So the first thing he does, he says, there are some things I want you to know. Verse 12, but I want you to know, brethren, that the things which happened to me have actually turned out for the furtherance of the gospel. They were lamenting, they were praying, they were probably crying for the Apostle Paul and this great speak free spirit, this traveling evangelist, this outdoor person, how he has been arrested and he has been locked up, and I'm sure they thought that Paul was depressed and discouraged. He said, but I want you to know this has happened for the furtherance of the gospel. And what I'm suggesting to you, that maybe COVID-19 was allowed by God to strike our country for the furtherance of the gospel. I would have never preached. This is either day 50 or day 51. I think it's day 51. I preached 51 days in a row at least once. I think this is the 65th sermon that I've preached in the last 51 days. I would have never even attempted to do anything like that if it wasn't for COVID-19. I would have not saw the need to do anything like that, and I would not have believed that there would be people that would be willing to join me every night at 7 o'clock unless there was COVID-19. It has happened for the furtherance of the gospel. So we have the opportunity to make Christ known, to lift up the gospel of Jesus Christ in a way that we would not have done before. COVID-19 has happened for the furtherance of the gospel. Paul says, I want you to know that my imprisonment has happened for the furtherance of the gospel. How did it happen, Paul? So that it has become evident that the whole prison guard, palace guard, and to all the rest that my chains are in Christ. Now watch this. Paul was under a form, I believe, of house arrest possibly, to where he was chained to a Roman soldier 24 hours a day. Can you imagine what it would be like to be chained to the Apostle Paul? Now, they would do shifts, maybe 3-4 hour shifts. But what Paul did, he used this imprisonment to have a captive audience, and every time they would bring in a different soldier and chain him into the Apostle Paul, where he'd have to guard the Apostle Paul, you know what Paul would do? He would preach the gospel. He would tell them about Jesus Christ. So much so, Paul says, the whole praetorium, there have been 9,000 soldiers that were assigned to the praetorium, the prison. Everybody heard that I'm in here because I'm preaching the gospel. It is known my only crime, my only trespass, the only charge against me is that I'm here because I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. He says, I want y'all to know that for the furtherance of the gospel. And he goes on to say, most of the brethren in the Lord, having become confident by my chains, are much more bold to speak without